Hey everybody, this is Kevin Flerlich with the Flerlich Twins. Today I'm going to take a small multiples chart or a Trellis chart and I'm going to allow you to zoom in all in one sheet. Not multiple sheets, just one sheet. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We want to get more detail about this federal industry. I can click on this, I can click back, and we'll go back. So what we're going to start with is some data that I'm building, a dashboard I'm building at work. It is public data and it'll be on our Tableau public page eventually, but we have some industries and we're looking at job openings rates. And here we got total non-farm. This is going to be this black line, and all the other industries are going to be represented by green. This black line is going to be on all of them. Okay, so let's kind of start. So ultimately what I want to do is to be able to click on one of these industries. It'll zoom in, and click again to zoom back. How might we do that? Well, we can do this with a parameter and a parameter action. So essentially what I want to do is say, if the value is in the parameter, then we will filter to it only, otherwise show everything. So let's start by creating a parameter. I've created just a parameter called industry parameter. We've made it a data type string and it's defaulting to none and allowable values of all. Okay, great. It's showing everything. In order to filter that, we need this parameter to be tied into something, namely a filter. So let's go to the sheet. I've created this really simple calculation that says if the industry parameter equals none, then show. I'll come back to that. Otherwise, if the industry parameter equals the industry in my viz, then show, otherwise hide. We're going to add that to the filter shelf and we're going to only set it to show. We're going to make sure that hide is unchecked. Okay, what does this do? Okay, if the parameter value is none, then it's going to show everything. If the parameter value equals industry, it's only going to show that, and otherwise it's going to hide everything else, right? So right now, the parameter is set to none. It's showing everything. Now let's create a parameter action to allow us to click on that. So I'm going to come here to Dashboard Actions, change parameter. I'm going to set it to industry parameter, and I'm going to pick this industry, set it on select, and hit OK. Now, when I click on, say, federal, it's going to send the value of federal to the parameter, and it's going to filter to just federal. That's great. All right. Now, how do I get back? How do I get back to the main page? Essentially, what we want this, since the calculation says so, is we want this to get back to none. But how are we going to do that with a parameter action? Well, really easy way to do that is a new feature they added about a year ago, is this clearing selection option. So if we say clearing the selection will set value to none, all right? Now when we click on this, it sends a value of federal here, and we click out here, it changes this value to none. And again, the filters calculation saying when it's none, show everything. Now this works really, really great on almost probably 99% of the Trellis charts you're going to work with, and we'd be done with this. But in this particular use case, I have two different measures I'm plotting. I have this non-farm measure and I have the actual industry measure. So for example, when I click on this, it works really well. I can see how that compares. But when I click on this with the black lines in front, well, it selects that green and it basically blocks that black line. And when I try to kind of clear it out, what to do, it sends none back to the parameter and clears it out. So we need to figure out a way to clear this selection, to deselect this mark. Now, my favorite tip for doing that is what I call the fake highlight. You've probably seen me use this trick. It's in our Tableau conference presentation. It's from Brian Moore. He has a blog on it. I've actually referenced that blog a lot. But unfortunately, that trick does not work in this one. But what does work is a technique from Luke Stanke from Tessellation. He compiled a couple of different methods, and he came up with a really great method of deselecting everything when you click on a mark. So we're going to go to this. It's on tessellationtech.io, automatically deselect marks. What we're going to start off by is creating two calculations, a true and a false. And then we're going to add those calculations to the marks card. And then we're going to create first a highlight action. Highlight action on the sheet on select. He's going to name it here, unlike what I did. He's going to go select the fields, and he's going to click true, hit OK. Then we're going to do a filter action. He's going to set the filter action on true equals false. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here. Go to tessellationtech.io and search for automatically deselect marks. basically what he did is create a highlight action and a filter action, and that's going to clear all the selections. So I've done that in this one. I go dashboard action, I got a highlight action, I got a filter action, and unlike him, I didn't name them very properly. And then I still have this industry parameter action where the industry parameter is going to be affected by the industry. So let's give it a try. I'm going to click on this, it zooms in. If I deselect, nothing happens. I don't sure why that's not happening, because I had on this dashboard action set to none when clearing the selection. So I'm doing that. Well, this hung me up as well. And what I can figure is it looks like there's some sort of order of operations going on in dashboard action. So it's never actually allowing me to clear that. So we can fix that with another calculation. All right, let's go to my sheet. And I've created this calculation. This is going to represent our industry. So before we have industry in a viz and we're just clicking on that, this is going to take the place of that. This calculation is fairly simple as well. It's going to say when the industry parameter equals the industry itself. So when the industry parameter equals finance and insurance, I'm going to send a value of none to that parameter instead of the industry. In every other situation, I'll send an industry. So if it's set to none and I click on industry, it's going to send the value of industry. But when I click on that industry again, it's going to send a value of none back to that parameter, right? So let me just go back there one more time. I did add that to my level of detail. And then I went up here and changed my dashboard action. Instead of using that industry before, like here, I'm going to use this new calculation, industry value. So again, what happens when I click on this? It sends a value. First off, you can see it's deselecting using Luke Stanke's trick. You can see that black line. It sends this value of healthcare and social assistance. But when I click it again, it's going to send the value of none. So anytime I click back on it a second time, so we click on government, sends government, and I click on it again, it's going to send a value of none. So this allows me to deselect and show everything in my chart. So if you're using just a normal Trellis chart or small multiples chart, you won't need to do that fake highlight or that trick from tessellation. But if you have multiple marks, you are going to, because they're going to overlap each other. So there you have it. I will publish this dashboard and you can reference it sometime here in the near future. I'll put it in the blog post and in the notes of this video. All right, thanks so much. For more Tableau tricks and tips, check out FlurLedgeTwins.com.